Welcome to Atmosphere Academy.
I haven't been doing good in too many schools, so I had to keep moving from school to school. Then I found this school and I actually enjoyed it on the first day. I actually got smarter in this school. Like I actually learned in this school. While in other schools, I would learn, but I wouldn't understand it or comprehend it.
My favorite thing about Atmosphere is, ironically, the atmosphere of the place and how everyone is so welcoming and how you can really tell that teachers want you to do your best and they want to help you out and they want you to get good grades and they want you to succeed.
Coolest thing that happened was getting lockers and using it for the first time.
We get to use the computers. Yeah, and then we have this program called the Read 180 and it reads to you and you could learn new words. I didn't know how to spell persevere before, so now I know how to spell it.
What would have been different for me is that I won't really have the opportunities that I had in Atmosphere because I haven't heard of any of my other friends' schools or my cousin's schools that they took them to places. They don't do a career exploration, they don't do electives, they just do oh, you have a free period, go to the gym or stay in the classroom. Here we focus a lot on what we want to do and it's not only about what the teachers have to say.
I meet Colin Green 2013 and there was an idea to open up a charter school. The mission, I really stood by it. I really enjoyed it. Social justice, providing education for African-American students and Latino students in the Bronx. That really spoke out to me because I'm from the Bronx and I want to give back to my community. So definitely when I heard about the idea, I was completely on board with it.
For me, the key piece is access opportunities. So really for us, it's focusing on getting students access. And it's not just about providing opportunities, but breaking down barriers to entry and getting students into those opportunities.
We say what we want to do, what career we want to choose, and they make these trips for you to learn about that career.
Well, my favorite thing that we did at the Bahamas was go to the sandbar. And it depends on the current waves of if you could actually see the island or if it's going to be covered by water. But most of the time, we were able to see the actual island. And also when we were doing this night wade, where before we go to sleep, we'll go in the water and search for animals. And we actually saw octopus.
We swam in 100+ foot deep water. They didn't tell us that it was 100 feet before we went in, but if they told us, I would have not went in. But that was a good experience. The trip, it opened my mind to saving electricity and water and stuff like that. Whenever I'm home and there's a light on and nobody's using it, I always turn it off. Now I'm conscious of that.
We got to do things that really we would not be able to do here because here you don't really have a cliff to jump off. It's just buildings. It's more city. Over there, it's a country. It's fun.
The trip was really fun, meeting new people that are not even from New York, going on a plane for the first time, or swimming with sharks, and it's stuff that you wouldn't be able to do normally in your everyday things.
There's a lot of activities that we did based on pollution and energy conservation and water conservation. So it kind of really changes your perspective because you see how these people are doing it and it's a part of their daily life. So it's why is it not part of mine? And other things that we did, jumping off a cliff, where it's a risk that you wouldn't normally take, but it's something that now I realize it's good to take risks in life because sometimes they can really benefit you.
First of all, we have to get the resources. We need to fundraise to make some of this happen. It's important that we find donors who are willing to give these students the background knowledge and the exposure that they wouldn't otherwise have. Because what we found is that on the state test, a lot of times they ask about things like this. They ask about horses, or they ask about the coral reef. And these are legitimate 2 passages from last year's test. In the coral reef, we actually snorkeled the coral reef in the Bahamas. So, of course, we went through classes about the coral reef before we did that. They built background knowledge in the classroom in the Bahamas, in Electives. They then actually went out and physically saw the space and swam through the space and had even touched coral and all those things. So putting that all together, and then when you come back and you have a state test that asks you about coral reef, you got this, you own this. Same thing with the lionfish. Also asked about a lionfish, and we studied lionfish. We actually dissected a lionfish in the Bahamas. So it's really important for students to make that connection in a very tangible way, where they're hands-on.
Welcome to Westchester Ranchers!
We're basically a company that has a mission to just save places like this. save them from development. And development's okay sometimes in some places, but we need to have a balance between development and then places that are what they say undeveloped. So this is what they say is undeveloped. This is raw nature. This is just all the ecosystems doing what they usually do. Water, plants, rocks change over time.
Think about trees in general. We have the moss, which is non-vascular, and we have this muscle tree.
So the way that people were chosen is if you had good behavior, your grades were up to date, which is like first honors, which is all A's, and recommendations by teachers. I actually had to do that for most of my classes because I had B's and I had to get them to A's to go on the trip. Because I've been a 2-star student like ever since I've been in this school, and I want to actually become a first honor student, which is all A's, and I actually achieved my goal.
When I got selected to go to Six Flags and to Holiday Hills, because it showed me that if I do really good in my classes, then I can go to different rewards and I get different rewards.
Definitely the motivation behind the reward system and what the reward system stands for, it really has to both reinforce getting an incentive or an immediate reward that a child would find valuable or find meaningful, and balance that also with the deeper, meaning of why you achieve things in life, right? You don't achieve things just to get a gift card. You achieve things because you want to become a better human being and you want to grow and you want to become the best person you can possibly be. That's really important. So we want to highlight both those things at the same time. So we have 2 honors systems that we use, and we've tied that to a star system. So students get 1 star, 2 star, or 3 stars, depending on what they achieve. So if they have second academic honors and first core values, they'd be a 2-star student. If they have second core values and second academic, they'd be a 1-star student. And if they have first in both, they would be a 3-star student. By creating levels, we're showing them a way to kind of keep moving forward and keep trying to achieve. Even students who don't earn a star, we call them our rising stars. And we really want to see them continue to aspire to get a star. When they get a star hoodie and t-shirt, which in itself is a reward because they can wear that hoodie or t-shirt in place of our school uniform. If you're a 2 or 3-star student, you can wear jeans or wear the sneakers that you want. So they view that as a huge reward. But beyond that, they're also going to get access to a swag store and they'll be able to walk in and shop on certain shelves depending on what star they are. Rising stars will come in depending on how many merits they earn different times. So for all the students, they can just see that if I put together this behavior profile and if I put together this kind of report card, then this is what I can earn in the swag store. This is the kind of new uniform I can wear. I can go on some certain trips that we organize for them. But also people are celebrating them and they start to feel like empowered that at Atmosphere it's cool to be smart. And that's kind of what we're doing is we're making it cool to be smart at Atmosphere.
Atmosphere, they gave me the opportunity of electives, because electives, I learned how to do like yoga, jiu-jitsu, piano.
It's like our free time and we could do whatever we want. I'm in the robotics elective and I like building. And right now we're like building a robot that moves on its own with wheels.
Learning how to program the robot through the computer, seeing the finished product, because like you made your own robot, so it's pretty satisfying.
We have like sports electives like European handball or basketball, and that can help with team building. In gym, we practice team building skills so we can work together and stop conflict. I learned different stuff in the electives. So let's say if I were in jiu-jitsu or boxing, I would learn how to defend myself.
In journalism, you get to like write and create stories and articles and stuff about the school or anything made up.
I was a teacher in mostly suburbs on Long Island and also in Hoboken, New Jersey, in a private school there. So I got a wide range of experiences from public school to private school. And I really was very impressed with the private school approach because they're very innovative. On the teaching level, I think it's really important for teachers to customize their curriculum, for teachers to own what's happening in their classroom. I think structure is good. I think it's important to have structure within a department, within a school, and have some guidance from a supervisor, but You don't want a teacher who just waits for the supervisor to tell them what to do, but a teacher who says, oh, I see a need here, or I see a gap here, and I want to fill that, and I want to make sure that we get these students, bridge that gap and get the students where they need to go.
When I came into interview at Atmosphere, I was looking for a couple things. I was looking for a school that cared about field trips and cared about exploring the world around them, specifically nature, but in general. And we have a partnership with the Nature Center, and I could see that all over the walls. It was something that we're proud of. That attracted me right away. I saw that there were plenty of resources. There was all over the walls, fresh paint, and every single classroom had laptops, and I saw every single classroom had posters all over the walls, and the teachers seemed like they had a variety of resources, which was a positive thing for me. For some subjects, we do have strict programs that really do meet the needs of the students where they are, but for me as a science teacher, as a person that likes to create my own lessons, as a person that really values hands-on experience, that was something that I really enjoyed during my interview here, and it attracted me to this place. Today, for example, we were testing how much density an object has, and they had to measure its length, width, and height to find its volume, and then find its mass, and then they had to calculate its density. And that was way better than using a worksheet. It was something that I actually tangibly had in front of them, had learned the skills in previous lessons, and then put it together, and then were asked critical thinking questions about it, such as using your density. Would it be buoyant in water? So all of that stuff, I really love bringing all together and making myself fitting into the lessons, meeting the needs of the students where they're at.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I feel really confident in the school because in my previous school, I really felt like, people would judge, I get judged easily. So here, I could just put sweatpants and disrespect people won't even say nothing about me. It's like family.
I like that the teachers give you opportunity here, and they give you time, and they understand your needs, and that helps you to strive and achieve. I feel like kids at this school work harder, and the teachers work harder than ever, more than other schools, especially my old school. I used to go to a public school. It was not good. It does not work as hard as this school. Kids, they don't put themselves out there and put pressure on themselves like they do here. I already got my dream job going because of the school, and I already know how to get there. I chose my high school. I know what college I want to go to. I know my future.
I feel like it's different because in other schools, we don't have as many classes that we have here. And in Atmosphere, let's say if you're in an honors class, you would get extra classes. And here, you would have at least 2 math classes, let's say. In other schools, you should have 1. And in other schools, they don't really push you a lot. It depends what type of school you go to.
Currently, we've built the structure that now we have the capacity where we have deans, we have psychologists, we have social workers, we have special education teachers. We provide the full gamut of special education services here. That's not true of every charter school. And that's something that I've had the freedom to do because our board believes in us, the community believes in us. Mr. Green has always said, I'm here for the students that are at my door. We are really serving every type of students that may need social emotional support, may need academic support, and not necessarily are classified as special education or an English language learner. It's just a matter of every child needs an individualized education plan, and that's the reality of being a 21st century learner.
I think of the kids as being like Swiss cheese. So they might have little gaps that they missed along the way, whether it be for attendance reasons, or maybe they have a disability, or maybe they just kind of lost out on some portion of their academic instruction. So there might be some skill deficits that the student has, and they need to plug in those skill deficits before they can move on and be successful at the next grade. That's kind of where I come in, is I help the teachers figure out how to identify those skill deficits. Is it basic reading? Is it reading fluency? Is it reading comprehension? What specific skill have they not acquired? And how can we link that skill deficit to a very specific research-based intervention that's going to help to fill in those holes and help the student go on to the next grade level?
Students, when they graduate from here, I truly believe that they're going to have the skills to do well in high school, be able to resolve conflicts, with their peers, with their family, within the community.
So kids having problems with one another. Somebody said something rude or disrespectful to a child and they are hurt. So they come and talk to me about it, and oftentimes that leads us to a mediation session where we do what we call here restorative justice to help them practice active listening, understand where each person is coming from, understand the emotions and the thoughts that were behind the actions, because I think that's very important. And also figure out kind of like, how do we repair the harm? Where do we go from now? What do you each need to be able to move forward?
A lot of students look for that. And even teachers and staff members are like, hey, I kind of have this conflict with so-and-so. Can we do mediation? And it's nice to hear that they want to use that system.
The success story is that the students are receiving their services and they're progressing and they're being declassified from special education. And then they're going to high schools now where they don't necessarily have a stigma and a label, they have skills and they have a victory story. And I think that that's what's amazing.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. This is the best school to work in. We got the best kids here. We got Sarah. Sarah, say hi.
Oh, he's a natural. I am the instructional leader here of the Student Learning Department. I work with all the learning specialists here, and I provide one-to-one coaching with them on a weekly basis, and we're in the classrooms often. It's a lot different here than other schools that I worked in. The teachers didn't have so much one-on-one attention, and that really works out for them in the classroom, and it's evident in their lesson plans throughout the week.
There was a lot of things that I didn't know computer savvy-wise. I mean, I'm quite familiar with the computer, but they use a lot of Google Docs just so we can interact with each other, so everything's a melting pot. Like if I have a question or concern with my lesson plan, it's 2 clicks away.
I have multiple co-teachers and we get along really well. It's a really good partnership that we have. We share the work. We make it really fun for the kids, which helps engage them. We even see each other sometimes outside of school, which is really nice. So it's more than just like a working relationship. It's also like a friendship. I think because we're able to like let our personality shine through with that kind of management style, like the kids know we're not like, it's not like sort of a militant style, like we're not really on top of them, but they know we're strict, but they know that we're being strict because we want them to succeed. So they do have like, they see that light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh, we're being like maybe scolded now for something, but it's gonna help us in the future. Yesterday was like my after school day and I was really nervous that no one was gonna come, but I had a bunch of kids come and we actually all like worked together. We made flashcards, yeah, to help them study for the test, and they were all helping each other and like testing each other, so that was like really good. It's a really positive place. Everybody comes in and they're ready to go, they're ready to work, and they're ready to make a difference and help these kids in like the best way that they can.
It's very inviteful, like it makes you want to do more than regular. If I work a 9 to 5, I'm leaving at 5. It's not like that. You want to help the children, so you do whatever it takes. I gotta be until 10 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock in the morning. We do whatever it takes as a staff. That's the atmosphere here.
We're trying to give you the best. You guys deserve the best. You need to know that deep down, you deserve the best. You need to give yourself the best. Some of the things we hope to see in 5 years is we'd like to add a high school. Being renewed would be amazing, and it would be great, and a great accomplishment, and hopefully a glide path for the future that we would just stay open. Every 5 years you do face renewal. We've been building systems for 2.5 years. We've been building routines and rituals and structures that would basically not only make sure that kids know where to go and how to get there in an efficient way for class schedules, or how to walk through the hallway, or how to behave properly, but also how they can achieve, how they can be a scholar and really achieve at a very high level. We've been building those systems. But I think we also now would like to take on other challenges, whether it's replicating to another middle school, but really actually we'd like to take our students who are here all the way through high school. And the high school though would be the most organic and natural add-on, because a lot of our students would like to stay with us all the way through high school, but we don't have those grades currently. When families ask, unfortunately we have to tell them right now we don't have a high school. And it's disappointing to be able to say that, but we just have to wait. We have to be patient. We only have 2 years of data. We have to wait till we have more data to get approval for high school if that ever does happen. So.
Each year we look for new opportunities. What else can we add? What else can we do? And that's the fun in Atmosphere.
So I think overall, I do want it to be very evocative and very vivid when you walk in this building, or any of our buildings, because we have more than one building now. So the Atmosphere experience should be something that just jumps off the page at you. And it's very powerful to see.